Shalom and good day all, this is Tehillim29 back again for another indie comic review. And in this indie comic review I'll be covering Rogue Sun, issue 14 and Firepower issue 25, as it's also been a while since I've reviewed Firepower on the channel. I think the last Firepower related thing that I covered on the channel, I don't think it was a comic. I think it might have been the first graphic novel that they put out for this series. So it's going to be really nice to sort of like cover this story once again. So I'll now get things organized for the first one that I'll be covering. Right, so the first one we'll be moving into is Rogue Sun issue 14. And first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside with the story? In some essence it is, to which I give it a 7 out of 10. Now it's time to move to having a look around the beginning, middle and end of the story, and also where we get to see how things are looking art-wise and what the rating will be for the art before we move into the story rating. So as the story begins, we have Dylan along with his father Marcus, or his old man Marcus, who are practically like in a scenario where they're like both stuck within the Rogue Sun stone, and there's a character that's sort of like taken over Dylan at the time, for the time being, and we get to see that particular character. As we start to move towards the middle of the story, we get to see what's happening in the Bow estate, and also what's happening with Dylan's body, which has been taken over. And we, of course, see Ori. We do get to catch up with Brock and also his mother. And last but not least, towards the end. So, for the internal art, this art was given a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story. First things first, considering how many issues there are, were there any references to any of the previous issues? No, there wasn't, though there should be. Next is the area of time. Was it addressed in the story? No, it wasn't, though it should be. Next is the locations that take place in the story, and considering how long I've been following this story, we had somewhere being used, which was sort of like shown in the plane of the Rogue Sun, which we get to meet up with some of the characters, along with Dylan catching up with his old man. We had the Bell Estate, and also Louisiana. The next is the cast of characters, to which we had Dylan, Marcus, his old man, we had Brock, we had Ori, we had Tandy and Jeremiah, that also made an appearance in this. For the overall story rating in this, I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move into Firepower. Wow, it's been so long since I've actually caught up with this. Though I have been reading this story in the background, it's really nice to see this actually reach 25 issues onwards. So, moving into first things first, does this cover in any way, shape or form connect to something that is happening inside of the story? It does, to which I give a 7.5 out of 10. Next is to have a look at the internal art, seeing that this is an extra big issue. I'll try to cover as much as possible from beginning to end. Not everything, but just enough to which you can see. So we have some of the art around the beginning of the story, to which we get to see Master Wei Lun, and he's wanting to catch up with Owen. Moving to an amazing scene here, to which Wei Lun expects that his life will be taken from him, only to find out, no, Owen wants just to know the truth. Whilst this is happening, we get to find out what the big bad dragon's doing, and also the villain that's also in Chicago, causing and wreaking havoc. We also get to catch up with the rest of the students as well as the family. And of course, the son finally gets to pull off a fireball until Wei Lun is able to create his own. So for the internal art, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Now it's time to move in relation to the story. First things first, considering how many issues that there have been in the series, were there any comic references to any of the previous issues? No, there wasn't. Next is the area of time. Did we get time addressed? Not really. The next is location, to which we get to see Chicago, but we don't really get the name of the island or name of the place where they are with the temple. It probably wouldn't have hurt to include it in the story once again, seeing it's been on a bit of a hiatus, and just to help give a bit of a refresher to readers. The cast of characters consisting of Owen, Master Wei Lun, Douglas, and of course the members and other students. For the overall rating for this, I give it a 7.5 out of 10. Until then, let's keep it colourful and have yourself an awesome day.